guys, welcome back to another setup video on Assetto Corsa. Again, we're going to be looking at the Monza racetrack, driving this time a GT3 car, and it's the Porsche GT3 2016 model. It's not the Cup car, it's the actual proper GT3 car where we can change the tyre models to soft tyres, etc. So we spent a good while on this setup. I think it was about, it wasn't obviously days, it was about 2 hours in the practice session, and I put together about 60 laps where I went through stages to do the setup. What I'm going to plan on doing for you guys in the future, I don't know how quick I'll be able to do it, as soon as I've got time to edit. Obviously my time is quite restricted in terms of editing time, but I want to put together a video to do some basic setup tuning for yourselves, how you can get the setups drivable, and also how we'll go into depth, and we'll start doing maybe a series on setups to do with how you can fine tune them for your styles, etc., and how I go about tuning my setups, just so that once I've give you these setups, you can then fine tune them to how you want them to drive, just to give you a bit better of understanding of what I do to change stuff and why I do it. Hopefully that can help you alter some of the setups that I give you to suit your styles better, because not everyone likes a car to drive the same. Everyone likes a car to do different things. So I think it'll be an idea in the future for the channel in general, is to do maybe a tuning series where we go through the basics, maybe some advanced stuff. And you know, I'm still learning as well, so I don't know everything. I do a lot of my tuning through trial and error, so it's just a case of what I find works with certain cars, and I'll try and do my best to go through it. Anyway, we're going to get on with this lap, and obviously, like I said before, it's about 50 to 60 laps worth of testing in free practice. It was consistent enough to hit reasonable lap times. I think it's about 3-4 tenths off this hot lap we did. Anyway, we're going to go through a quick track guide for yourselves now and show you where I was braking and what I was doing basically to get the lap. So we're going to look out for the 150 yard board on the left. I'm going to brake. Pretty much brake on it and sometimes slightly past it if you get your braking right. We're blipping the throttle on the downshifts, going down in second gear, then first gear, and we want to try and clip each curb there. You don't want to take too much, as it will unsettle the car. And we're going to try and get on the power as cleanly and as fast as we can on that exit. We're running traction control on its weakest setting here, although you can run it on its complete off setting. It's very similar. I actually think off will be faster, but I found consistency, have it on 12, 11, it's just a lot better. So braking again, just on the bridge there, going down into second gear. Now you want to hold the brake again until you hit that curve, and then getting on the power as early as you can. Try to avoid that curve on the left there. We actually ran a bit wide, lost a few tenths there. Now braking down into third gear, I like to hold a nice tight line so we can get on the power as early as we can. Use a bit of the curve on the exit, going into fourth gear, looking out for the 50 yard board on the left, braking down into third gear, hard on the power, and accelerating out the second Lesmo and into fourth gear, and trying to get as much speed down this back straight as we can. We're going to look out for the bridge now, which is, you're going to look out for the shadow to brake, and we're going to go down into fourth and then third gear, and we're going to take some of the curb over on the left. This setup can quite easily go over the curb. You can see there, over the curb, no issues there. Going into fourth gear, be careful when you're into fourth gear there. You want to be holding that power and try and keep it in a nice line, avoiding the curbs on each side of that chicane, as it will unsettle the car, so you just want to get that line perfect through there. Now going in sixth gear, I'm going to look out for the 100 again. We can brake past the 100 this time, nearly halfway between the 150, and going down into third gear and trying to hold that line, then getting on the power once you know it's safe to do. This is the corner that if you've got traction control completely off, you've just got to get it perfect, and if you get it perfect you can gain some time. But I just felt that running the weakest set was a better way to give you guys a setup, because I think it's going to be more consistent for the average player. But traction control off is still drivable, and if you maybe want to just add one extra click of downforce, it might actually help the setup out with traction control off. Okay, so we're going to have a little look at the setup and what we did. We actually found that running the tyre pressure is quite low on this track again. The Porsches seem to like to run the tyre pressures reasonably low, what I'm finding. So we ran them as low as we could really. The front right tyre was still getting a bit cold, but there's not much you can do about that with the Monza track the way it is. We could have lowered the tyre pressures, but I didn't actually get much gain from doing it on the right hand side. I did try it out, I didn't really get anything that was benefiting myself. Aero, we ran the aero actually quite high. You can see we had traction control off or on the weakest setting. I would actually advise, like I'm putting there, run it on the weakest setting with the ABS on a level 7. I found a nice setting, 7 or 8. It's debatable which will be better. I actually preferred 7 for hot lapping, and maybe you could go down to 6 for in the race or keep it on 7. I'm not too sure. I didn't really experiment too much with that. 7 just felt quite nice. So aero, this was quite surprising for myself. I actually had to run 11 on the rear. Did try it on lower settings, but it just couldn't get the stability through the 2 Lesmos and also the final corner. I wanted to put the power down as early as I can. So I went for a little bit more downforce than I would have liked, but it gives you the advantage. And this car actually seems to run quite well in a straight line. So even with that 011, it seemed to have a decent speed down the straight. So I think it's going to be competitive online, even with the 011 on the downforce. Cambers again, finding that with the rear, with this Porsche and the other Cup car, you have to run the rear cambers higher than the front all the time. It's pretty similar to with project cars actually sometimes. Not so much with that, but you did have to sometimes run the rear cambers higher, but with this you definitely do, in my opinion. That's just how I went about the setup. I did have to lower some of the damper settings as well to just make it a little bit more drivable over the curbs, especially on the final chicane, the fast chicane. It was unsettling the car with the base settings that were provided by Kunos. It just felt a little bit unsettled through that chicane. I just try to settle it down through that chicane so you can really get on the power. You still need to be cautious on the curbs there. You know, don't attack the going through the corners. You just got to be careful going too close to the curves. You will still run the risk of losing the back end if you're too aggressive. But overall, as you can see from the lap, it drove really nice through there. With regards to brake pressures, obviously we got on full. We got ABS. Balance, I found that 70% was a nice ratio for the brake balance from the front to rear. That felt about right to myself. You can see there we ran the roll bars 7.2. I think that really did need to. I did try 6.1 to start with, which was pretty much a default, and it didn't feel right. 7.2 felt a lot better, and I also upped the travel range slightly. That could obviously, I think that might be able to go up slightly more. Just give it a little bit of experimentation, etc. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with a replay from the static cameras. This car sounds amazing on Assetto Corsa. Again, another really nice sounding car. It sounds better than the Cup car. I don't know whether it's slightly different the way it is, but it sounds amazing. Anyway, guys, make sure you check it out and have a little listen. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Make sure you follow me on Twitter as well. You know, catch the Twitter at the end of the video. There's also a link to my Twitter within the description if you want to follow me through that link there. And also if you want to ask any questions, sometimes I don't always see all the questions on the YouTube. I do try and answer as much as I can, but also drop me a tweet. I can't guarantee I'll see it, but you know, I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can with regards to anything you want to ask me. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you click that like button and make sure you subscribe for more videos to come soon. Thanks again.